Hey guys, it's Matt. I was sent another We Are Trapped Here. This is a Prison Planet video, and I just wanted to speak to you for a few minutes like this before switching over to more of a narrative type of video, showing you maybe some still images of the video that I watched. The person that sent this to me is Old Guard. I'm not here to piss them off, but this issue, let's just say, I don't believe we're trapped. But if we are trapped, soul trapped here, there's really nothing more important in the history of what you would call existence or the universe. So I can't worry about anybody's feelings if they sent me a video and then I'm going to push back and maybe rip it apart. The issue's too big. I mean, I'm sorry. I hope they don't take their ball and go home, but this doesn't seem like that type of person. They've been here a long time. So please take this the right way. As you guys know, I've been pushing back on the we are trapped, this is a prison planet, the archonic beings will come down per the NDEs, because every NDE and every NDE experience has to be absolutely correct. That is death, sure. Really? I've been pushing back on these presentations for quite a while. As far as I know, no one's ever outlined, item by item or issue by issue where I'm going wrong in interpreting their videos about this very important we are trapped and it's a prison planet realm. I'm sure some people in passing have commented back to some of the things I've said, but I've never heard a point-by-point rebuttal video. So I guess I'll make my points again a little bit later. But what was sent to me, I'll just get right to the most important point. To me, the solution was actually a little bit dangerous in my opinion. It's always about going into the astral projection. We can't do it here. We have to learn how to go out of body. Why? We'll get to that. I'm not here to astral project and to live in another reality. I came in or incarnated into this reality to experience this. Well, that's the trick, Matt. You need to go out of body. Really? We'll get to that, I guess. It's a little dangerous. Some of the advice was first off, in the beginning part of it, we agree. Whatever they wouldn't call it not milk. I call it not milk. We would agree at the base level. Something here has been stealing our energy. Of course, loosh. Something here lives off our energy, feeds off our energy. Okay, we agree. It's amazing how everybody in the world can't see it, but we're surrounded by those in the ship of fools. So after watching an hour and 45-minute video, there was no solution. I had to go into other videos. And then finally it was learn to, if they're taking our energy, go into their realm and take their energy. To go into their realm and take their dark energy? What? We are, in my opinion, we are a spiritual being that produces an unlimited amount of our own energy. So that's why it feeds from us. Like the horse that drinks from the river. The river is, from the horse's perspective at least, provides an endless source of clean water coming off the mountains. The river doesn't have to say, that horse has been drinking from. I'm going to take from the horse. What? I don't know. The horse blood? I don't know. Drink from. This is a bad example, I guess. But no, do I know this for sure? No, Matt. If you don't go out of body, you don't know shit. Oh, sure. Because you can go into the astral and look down. That's everything. That's everything. That tells you all about death. I don't do that. Okay. I haven't spoken to no Carlos Castaneda, no Don Juan, and all that shit. But the people that know, that have interpreted that correctly, in my opinion, would say, sure, you could astral project or go out of body. In terms of all that there is in whatever we call it, total existence, that is like, okay, we are here on the mall map. Well, yeah, there's a Starbucks and there's, Spencer Gifts. You get the grab bag at the end. You just pay $5. You get a bag. You don't know what the fuck's in it. Spencer Gifts. We used to waste money on that. I think it was like $3 for the grab bag back in the late 70s. You got a grab bag? You don't even know what's in it. That's the fun. We don't know what's in it. That's horse shit. So, okay, mall map. We are here, all right? This physical plane existence. those in the know, at least the ones that I trust, would say the astral out of body, well, that's just one micro over in terms of all that there is, your total existence, your connection to source, or whatever you call God. So you go from here, you go blip, you go one little tiny blip over into the astral, whatever. You know everything now. You know everything's cool. What's that? That's Anthony Michael Hall in one of those movies. Everything's cool, sure. You know everything. And ND is a little bit. Oh, now you know all about death. Come on. And once again, like I've said many times, it also assumes that whoever created this realm, this place, whether they're nefarious or whether they're benevolent or helpful or your God or whatever it may be, it assumes that, to me, I believe that a part of me, part of my spiritual whole, chose to incarnate here, chose to incarnate a piece, at least a piece of itself here for the experience. Oh, that means school. Yeah, it does. It's okay. It's okay to say it. It's so taboo. See, if a whole big part of our community is trying to tell you it's taboo, I employ the rule of opposites. It's so taboo to say school, then I would say that's actually confirmation that it is a school. And for those that get triggered when somebody puts forth that this reality is a school, you know how it's not like I'm not really going out on a limb. You know how I know it's a school? Because I've actually learned a lot. This is the facts of the case. Are you the same person you were at 21? Matt, you're being repetitive. Yeah. When it comes to the most important issue in existence, I am going to be slightly repetitive. Maybe you don't see it my way. I'm not saying maybe I'm wrong. I'll look to your comments. I've never gotten serious pushback on any of this from another channel as far as I know. So, I believe I chose, a part of me at least, chose to be here for the experience. And I can say school because I've learned a lot. Everybody here, old guard, well, think of what you were at age 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Even my difference between 40, I almost said 1940, difference between 40 and me now at 55 is like, I don't even know who that person was at 40. I can say school because I've learned so much. Anyway, so I believe we chose to be here, not that we're trapped in a prison planet. And people come forth, and a lot of people believe we're trapped. But if you're going to go as far as to make videos that you're trying to circulate to tens of thousands of people, that we're trapped and tricked, and it's a prison planet, and it's dark and as evil as it possibly can get, if you're going to put that out, you better have a solution that makes sense. And in the hour and 45-minute video that was sent to me, almost, I guess it was close to 2 hours, this person just talked in circles. It was like, where's the solution? The interviewer seemed somewhat genuine. I looked at his channel briefly, and it seems like there's just tons and tons of video about the astral projection and learning to go out of body. Again, that ain't for me. This experience is about being in body. It's about being low. This is the experience, in my opinion, we signed up for. It's not if we got on this train, ride the train. It's not to become, people talk about in these ridiculous videos, transform into something. You've heard me say this many times, into a 4D being or a 5D being. That sort of transformation isn't going to come in this reality. We're here to experience the low, to be low. We're here to be low. That's part of the deal. I would assume, and I think that we're not low like this from where we came from. So it's part of the experience. Well, Matt, why is this necessary? Why would a higher being, need to experience low? How the hell do I know? How do I know? We came in here, Tommy, the deaf, dumb, and blind kid. How the heck am I supposed to know? I'll ask that part of me when I come together with it again. We go be one. Higher self, get us the hell out of here. I don't know. But we've all learned a lot. So I think, it's a complete opposite perspective saying, I believe a part of me chose to be here. Versus when you ask the people that present trapped, tricked, prison planet, all they can say is just a different version of the same thing. We were somehow lured in here. lured, like a rabbit trap or something. We were tricked to come in. How does that work? I cut that off because the example, I'm trying to think of an example. How could a timeless being that always has existed, always will exist, be trapped in some relatively small, tiny local place? And I sat for a minute and I couldn't think of anything better. So I guess I'll just, how does that work? How does that work? Okay, so look, I'm not, there's many Christians here. I don't have the Christian philosophy, but I believe I'm a spiritual being or a part of a spiritual being that always has existed and always will exist. Now, there's Tony talked about different levels or fractals. Jeth, in his book, talked about maybe as you move up at some point, no matter how many levels there may be, we are eventually part of initial all creation source. Okay, that triggers a lot of people. Jeth, in his book, many times, it says, don't forget, you are experiencing the individual here, but you are part of God. You are part of original creation. It gets back to the theories that God split itself into trillions of pieces to experience this and that. And okay, that triggers people. That is more along the lines of what I believe. This has to be, you would think, one of the lowest levels. Being all focused on being the individual is very low. There's no doubt about that. And many people haven't even thought this through. It just makes more sense that as the levels go up, as the fractal, who knows how many levels there are, in my opinion, to initial creation, or what many would call God or source. And maybe there's 10 levels, maybe there's 400 million levels, and we're towards the lowest now. But to me, being focused on, I'm Matt, I'm a completely separate individual. Even when we talk about higher self, and even that 1 or 2 levels up, they would say you're not just the individual you think you are. You're part of a spiritual being. That 2 or 3 levels up in the fractal is still considered like an individual part. But as you move up, it does make more sense that the barriers of the individual would kind of go away. Oh, this is New Age horseshit. Call it whatever you want. Does that make you feel better? That you call it New Age or whatever? You just slap the New Age tag on. Oh, yeah, I can one-up anybody just by slapping that tag on it. That's New Age. Ha ha, beat you. Call it whatever you want. Hi, Zara. Call it whatever you want. That's what I believe. It's obvious to me this experience is intended. It's supposed to be low. And having one's consciousness can focus on nothing else but the individual. It's very low. There's no doubt about that, in my opinion. So anyway, guys, how would a timeless entity be trapped in a little place that's a prison and we're not supposed to be here? So at the individual levels, there's nobody that lost track of Matt. Where'd that Matt go? Like 2, 3, 5 levels up, higher self, whatever it may be. Where'd that Matt son of a beach? Where'd he go? Oh, I think he got tricked to go into Earth. There's nobody on the outside that could get us out. See, it just doesn't make... If you're going to say we're in a prison planet, we're trapped, you better be prepared at least to have a decent reply or a decent explanation as to how everything else works. Say, well, how did we get here? Well, we were trapped, lured in. Well, then we had no friends on the outside that could help us out. There's no more powerful spiritual beings than the Bill Gates types here and the archonic beings that are hovering around the astral. At least let that, if you present things that make sense, I'll pay more attention. Right now, the whole thing doesn't make sense. You just can't yell out "trapped," and you just can't yell that out every time without having some answers, without having at least some explanations that make sense. So it just doesn't. Guys, I'm still firmly in the camp that a part of me chose to be here. And then again, the video I was watching, literally he's saying the solution is twofold. One, you have to learn to astral project. You have to learn to go out of body. You have to spend time on the astral. I was listening for almost 2 hours. That and 2 other videos. Well, why? Okay. Well, the only solution was to why should we learn to do that? because it's been taking our energy for a long time. No doubt about it. We agree. It's been taking our energy for a long time. To me, well, Matt, what sort of spiritual timeless being would sign up to go into a realm where something's going to vampirically take your energy, whatever? Well, one of the part one and part two, part one leaving the trick behind, one of the learning experiences of this place is learning to not give it your energy. You go running right off to a Taylor Swift concert, or do you go running right off to the James T. Kirk fight left versus right, or what really happened? Go running back into the weeds? That's giving it your energy. Overcoming part one, or moving on to part two, leaving the trick behind, the fine print in doing that is you will not give it your energy, or now you've cut it off from 95% of your energy. Where in the past you gave it 95%, now you're keeping 95%. Hey, I even looked at the James T. Kirk and Spock thing for a few hours, right? Over the course of several days. And is that, in a way, giving it a little bit of energy? Yeah, but I've much improved, as you are, from what we were doing 10 years ago. So the solution was, it's okay, we agree. It's been taking our energy. Yeah, okay. So the solution was we need to go take its energy back. What? Are you kidding me? And through astral projection, through out of body, steal its dark energy? What? No. That's dangerous, in my opinion. No, I believe I produce my own energy. That's why it's like hovering around me and wants to get what I have. That's why it wants to get what you have. That's why it's all up in your business all the time, because you are an unlimited supply of energy. Well, that's that new age horseshit, Matt. You just parrot that out. I believe it. And it's not just you just throw it out like, oh, that sounds good. All it does 24/7, 365 in a million different permutations is try to get our attention. Focus. James T. Kirk and Spock of it 2 weeks ago or whenever it was. I have no sense of time anymore. Could have been 2 days ago. Could have been 2 months ago. I have no idea. All it does is try to get energy from us. That it tells you who you are. It tells you you're the source of energy. And the solution is to go in the astral and take its energy? No, I don't think so. I'll produce an endless supply of my own. I want nothing to do with that. It's just the opposite, is what I would say. I mean, this advice to me is dangerous to a degree, to go in and to get on its level. Do you feel just deep down your inner knowing, let's just say all this astral stuff is all correct. It probably is. I don't care if there's beings hovering around the astral. I know deep down I'm part of something that's trillions of times bigger than that. What little beings hovering around the Lefty from Sesame Street? Hey, bub, you want to feel good? Oh, yeah. How, you Lefty. I'm not Ernie. You want to sell me some air in a bottle? You son of a... I don't care what's hovering around the astral. That's the powerful position is, okay, archonic beings are going to swoop in upon your death. I don't think so, but okay. Who are you? Who cares? If you know deep down who you truly are, who cares? Astral archonic being. Who the fuck are you? Would you like to go back into the body? No. Fuck off. I don't know. I'm not going to focus, as I said, I'm not going to focus on tricks and traps at death, because if I'm focused on it my entire life, then in some way, because I'm the powerful creative being, I'll help manifest it, or I'll bring it on myself. They even say that in that Bardos nonsense, in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the 40 days of the Bardos, and the name shamans and the priests, they scream over the body. It's now, I'm not joking, I saw a video about this. It's now day 10. You'll experience demons of your own creation. And I'm like, that's correct. That's demons of your own. Turn left at the blue light. There are 3 lights. Why are you I saw a YouTube video about this. The priest actually talking to the dead body several days in to what they call the Bardos. Now, if this person expected the Bardos their whole life to come, I think they just manifested the Bardos on themselves. Or why would the damn priests are giving it away right there? It's like, on day 5, there are Picard with the Ramans, there are 4 lights. You will experience demons of your own creation. That's what they say, quote unquote. Of your own creation? Well, then is it real or not? And why'd you start imprinting on this kid lugging water in the Tibetan mountains? Well, they in Kathmandu, they're burning the whole place down right now. I was going to go there on vacation, but first vacation in 15 years here. This YouTube video. Now I got to go to Caesar's Palace. I got to get the Emperor's package, like that son of a bitch in Armageddon get. I got to go to Caesar's Palace. I was going to go to Kathmandu. Say hi, this is Matt coming to you live from Kathmandu. I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything. Bad example, but they're screaming over the body, demons of your own creation. Well, they brainwash the kid from 5 years old that you will have to go through 40-day bardos or recycle. Every fiber in that kid's being believes that they're going to recycle. In my opinion, they've then manifested on themselves that religion that pushes that you're almost guaranteed almost 100% to recycle, and putting that in the mind of the creative spiritual being is extremely dangerous, if not / evil. So it's the same with this. So you go into the astral, take its energy. I don't think so. Don't you want to learn to go out of body, Matt? No. I'm here to experience this. I feel I'm a being that's done the astral. Oh, that seems so cool. We have travel astrally. Oh, that's even in the freaking Dungeons and Dragons book, whatever. And out of body from who we are. That's a joke. That's like from who we truly are. We were so worried that this whole group of YouTubers worried about astral projection. That's like the kid. Think of the most pathetic kiddie ride at Dutch Wonderland. Is that still up there on Route 30, Lancaster? I think it's still up there, and I think they've improved it. I was there in the 70s, and I had been to maybe it was the early 80s. I had been to Great Adventure in New Jersey. That's a Six Flags that was amazing as a young kid the first time. What does this have to do with the Bardos? Give me a minute. You go to Great Adventure for the first time. Six Flags is just you just like this is the most incredible thing that's ever happened to a kid. And then or just you compare that with the horseshit rides at Dutch Wonderland, like this little tiny thing going around. It was like nothing. And that's astral and out of body to who we truly are. They think that ain't shit. That's that little shit ride. We're trillions of times larger than that. So I don't care. I'm sorry to waste your time on the last few minutes. That I don't care to go out of body. I don't care to try to go into the astral. I don't want to go in and try to take the dark energy, whatever it's taken from me. Said, you fed from me, you sons of bitches. You fed from me for 45 years or whatever. Why I've fallen for the trick? When I was an insurance rep in San Francisco, and all I cared to do was like, oh, well, let's look through the Audi leases, and let's look what kind of car. It was the most important decision in the world. What kind of car would be leased? If you fed from me while I was so fooled, you know what? You are worthy adversary. You can keep the energy. Fine, I got unlimited supply. But now you're not going to feed from me anymore. Why? Because I said so. And because I'm not focused on the Charlie and the Spock and the James T events, and I'm not giving it. I don't give it away. Give it away. Give it away. Give it away now. Give it away. Give it away. Blood, sugar, sex, magic. Yeah, the 22-year-olds came up with that. Yeah. Anthony Kiedis just came up with that on his own. Blood, sugar, sex, magic. Is that what it was? Give it away. Give it away. There's a whole song about Loosh. Probably. So, you can keep it. Don't you want to go in and get it back, steal it back? I don't need to steal it back. It's like giving it's like a burger you've eaten down to the last bite, giving it to a homeless person. I don't need to go to the homeless person to get that burger back. Fine, you can have the burger. So I was tricked. You stole my energy. Oh, well, I've learned not to give it away. Have we learned that? But it's not a school. No, it's not a school. I give a burger to the homeless. I don't try to get it back a year later. They can keep it. He digested it. It's in his body anyway. So I don't need to go into no astral to get to go. That's trying to. You're then going to its level. See, this is very simple. Oh my God, with this horse shit. In the 1 hour and 45-minute long video that was sent to me, this person was being interviewed. His name was Mike. Seemed like a nice guy. Never had heard from him before or heard about his channel. Didn't know the channel that was hosting the video. I went there this morning for the first time. There's a lot of videos on going out of body, astral projection, etc. So I was surprised, though, in terms of this 1 hour and 45-minute video, the interviewer at the larger channel really need to push a little bit harder. Like, Mike, what is your solution? There was no solution in 1 hour and 45 minutes in terms of what I listened to. There was a lot about it's taking our energy. Yeah, we know that. I mean the Gnostics knew that thousands of years ago, right? I mean, of course it's taking our energy. That's what we have, what it wants. Okay, that's nothing new. But the interviewer said, "Well, Mike, what's the solution exactly?" And hours and hours about an hour and plus of a 1 hour and 45-minute long video about techniques to be able to travel into the astral, or techniques as to how to go out of body, related to lucid dreaming, related to the strange consciousness state between the awake world and the dream world, as well as using daydreams to put oneself in that sort of lucid dream state. I have as I said, I have no desire whatsoever to try to practice techniques to go into the astral. It's probably there, like they say. I'm not saying they don't travel astrally. They do, I'm sure. So, do they travel out of body? So, I would say, why does everybody that does do that, why do they think that brings the final truth? Why? If you were, again, I'm going to say the same thing, but if all that you are, you'd look and say, well, that you just moved one half of 1,000th of a millimeter away from the earth. That ain't the final truth. That ain't shit. Well, that's not a final level. People have said they've traveled to the astral and they really saw the shape. It's not splat turf. They saw the oh, you saw the truth. Sure. And whoever designed this realm, they just left that loophole. Do you think whoever designed this place is an intelligence that's somewhat powerful? Whatever you think, or whoever you think it was, or your God. Do you think whoever designed Earth, whether you think it's from the Christian God or it's a trick, do you think that entity is powerful? And maybe we did. I'm just saying, I'm not I'm not all powerful in this part of my spiritual whole. I believe this is a small part of my spiritual whole called Matt. Called Matt. I'm not going to sit here and say, this individual, this aspect of it is all powerful. Me, I'm all powerful. Oh, the mailman's knocking at the door. Oh, shit, that's a bill I can't pay. Well, I'm not all powerful here. I'm low here. I ain't here, Matt. This thing called Matt. It ain't shit. Well, so what? That's fine. But I think I'm part of something that is all powerful, or timeless. Okay, so I believe not this aspect of me. So yeah, the astral. Why do I'm here? I think little Matt, the pinky, or the small part of this spiritual being, was put into this realm to learn lessons, experience the low, overcome many things, stop giving it energy, etc. If we're trapped at all, it's by our own doing. Not if there is any way the word trapped can be used, we are trapped. The higher self itself, or another aspect of you, has said we need to. Tony alluded to this. Keep doing simultaneous incarnations until the higher self is ready to exit the game. And it needs things from each individual incarnation, according to Tony, very, very important, to do things, to overcome things. But if we're trapped, it's by our own doing, not this outside force, this Warden Norton from Shawshank. So, if we're trapped by our own doing, well, okay, then I trust myself. I dedicate this building to myself. I trust that whatever it's a bigger part of me that I'm not really in touch with knows what it's doing. Okay, that's so new age, Matt. That horse shit. Call it whatever you want. I think it's much more. What does your inner knowing tell you? That you're bigger than this place, or does your inner knowing tell you? Although there could be different types of entities watching this. There could be a few low-level Alec Baldwin types that crawled in here, and they're not going to give the same answer as the real spiritual being. Matt, you're having trouble talking. Yeah, so what? Do you feel you're bigger than this place, deep down, inner knowing, or do you feel you're this little worm that's trapped? What does your inner knowing tell you? Okay, I mean, there you go. That's all you need. There you go. There's your answer. You don't have to watch no more YouTube videos. You don't have to watch no more YouTube videos. There's your answer. Much bigger than this place. Look what happened with the news events the last few days, and this pathetic politician and this lame trick over here. It's lame. We see right through all of it. I mean, so you think you're just some worm that's trapped? Okay, we've done that. There's a couple low creatures that probably crawled in here, like Alec Baldwin disciples, whatever. I'm feel trapped. Well, if we're not all the same. Sorry. If you're an Alec Baldwin creature that crawled in here, I'm sorry. We're not all going to answer the same. There's different. All men from the Declaration of Independence. All men are created equal. Rule of opposites. Different types of entities here, in my opinion. Many are fiddling Ben's low, but so I guess what was I saying? If I'm trapped here, it's by my own doing. So I trust that I put myself in here anyway. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life worried about archonic tricks at death and of course the big thing. Everything in the world comes down to go into the light or not go into the light. Does this make any sense? Everything, first off, if it was such a great, I have to talk about this because I haven't for a while, but you have in the past, Matt, which makes you very repetitive. Assuming everybody's seen it, every single video of mine and remembers everything of what I said, which I don't remember myself. So everything we've done here, every trick, everything they've put us through, every way they've manipulated us since birth, all of this, if their light trap was so good, it's so good, then you know what I'm going to say. Why are they working so hard every minute of every day here if their light trap is so foolproof? So if their work, see what I'm saying? If it's just, Matt, go. We know from the NDEs exactly what happens because the NDEs, that's real. They'll tell you about real death. Whoever designed this realm, do you think they're powerful? Do you think they would allow loopholes? Do you think they would allow cheat codes? Do you think they would allow mistakes in their own design? So I was going to say this earlier. I didn't complete my thought. I apologize. So I've talked about this many times. I've never heard this addressed back to me. So somebody could have an NDE and see what real death looks like. And if there was a problem in the design of this realm and the NDE or the astral projection or the out-of-body is like a cheat code or something that shouldn't be happening, don't you think the powerful entity that designed this realm would fix the problem? The way game coders can go back and fix mistakes after the release of a game? Or they're just, we didn't make it right. They can do astral projection and they can do out of body and the NDEs and they can see right through it. Oh no, what are we gonna do? They would fix it, right? So I think whoever designed this realm, just looking around, it's very impressive. Knows what they're doing. Okay, it's a pretty powerful being, whether it's you and me, but not in this form. I can't even code one line of Python. I have no idea how anything like this realm was created, even though another aspect of me might. They know what they're doing. So if somebody travels astrally or out of body or NDE, then to me it was meant to be. Whether that it's meant to be a false belief, but it was not like somebody's beating the system. Do you think some little low-level human can beat the system by traveling astrally or out of body? And it wasn't and again, one last time, if it was, at some point, Matt, somebody exploited a loophole, then it would have been fixed. It would have been fixed 40,000 years ago when the first shaman lying in a cave that just discovered fermented spilled grape juice in a mud puddle and some yeast settled it and sucked it up because it was too tired to move, and it got its first wine buzz. From the first wine buzz in the history of the world, and the person traveled astrally, then in the Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island Control Center, they would have known and they would have fixed the problem. So anybody that does this, then it was meant to be. So there's a lot of tricks here, right? Does this reality play tricks at all? A few, right? A few billion. Well, then why wouldn't I assume that the NDE, what's being shown, the out-of-body, and the astral is part of the trick? No, that has to be real. Oh, okay. That has to be real. See, we one up the entity that created this reality. They didn't expect that we could do that. We one upped them, and they can't fix it on the back end either. The way you would code correct a video game, we one up the son of a bitch. No, I would say it's the opposite. That it's all intended, and they want you to think you're seeing the final, or you're seeing something that you shouldn't see. It's all part of the same trick. See, the whole place is a trick. So over here, we know that all this is a trick, but what you do over there, that's real. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to shut the whole channel down. I guess I'll shut the video down now, and I'll shut the channel down. Thanks for being here for 15 years. I don't know. I'll go work at a Dairy Queen or something. I'm glad that segment wasn't extremely long because it didn't record. It just got the circle with the line through it. Like, thanks for coming. It was 11 minutes, and nothing showed up on photo booth. So I'm going to keep this just for 4-minute segments to close. I'm sorry I didn't complete my thought before. I was talking about the light, go into the light, not go into the light. The light trick is so... I'm sorry if I said some of this before because I forget what I said in the last segment that I'm re-recording what I said earlier. If the light trick is so perfect and it has us at death, why is it working so hard in our daily lives? Why is it putting forth every day a million permutations of its trick to influence what we focus on, influence what we believe about ourselves? Why is it working so hard if it has us at death with a perfect light trick or trap, right? Because it's working so hard here tells me it isn't a foolproof light trick or trap. Pretty simple, right? And someone would say, well, it's working so hard here, Matt, it needs to feed Loosh. No doubt, it feeds from our energy, of which I think, as I said earlier, our type of being is an inexhaustible supply from its perspective. It does need to feed, but what does your inner knowing tell you? That's the only reason for the trick, just so it can eat, just so it can feed itself? Or are there other reasons for the trick? I think your inner knowing would say it's not just so it can eat. I mean, think of the Loosh and the energy just from the James T. Kirk and Spock thing. Its appetite, is that insatiable? Or it gets what it needs to feed Loosh, but there are other reasons for the trick. There are other reasons for the trick, which means it doesn't have us definitively or absolutely at the moment of death, especially those of us that have practiced the training here and the discernment and see through the trick here. I see through the trick here as you do. So that will carry forth into the moment of death, and I'll see through the trick there as you will. Let me hope this recorded. When something on iMac photo booth doesn't record or didn't record in the past, I thought it was a space issue. I was wondering why this iMac was a lot cheaper than the others. Well, the hard drive is next to nothing. Almost all my old videos have to be cleaned out every 2 to 3 weeks. I just cleaned up 40 gig yesterday, wiped out everything I could. So it's not a space issue. So I don't know why that didn't record, but I think this was the last segment or the last part of what didn't make it. And this is probably the most important part. People say, well, Matt, you come poo-poo all the prison planet people. What's your ideas, genius? I'll give you mine. Many will say they won't like it because there's no actual defined map what to do on day 4 of the Bardos or what exactly to say to the archonic beings. Many, because I'm not going to exactly lay out what you should do, and it more has to do with putting the time in and doing the work and gaining the confidence and the frequency and vibration of somebody that has done all the work. They don't like that. They want a quick answer. They just want a map. I want to know what to do with the light. Sorry, then you're not going to like this. To me, it is about part 2, the work, going into the moment of death with complete confidence. You've heard me say this before. It's not a map. There's what do I do if the archonic being comes down wearing this outfit? Oh, that's that Azazel son of a bitch, and here's what I'm going to do. I assure you one thing. Bardos, here, do this at the lights. The Tibetan Book of the Dead, 100% horseshit. Anybody that gives you a map, here's what to do when the light pops up. What, to me, absolute bullshit. This whole reality, in my opinion, wouldn't exist without us. All is mind. The real consciousness of the spiritual being came first. It's about going into the moment of death or the week before or the month before, knowing you've done enough. The confidence and the vibration that puts off, the resonance of that the frequency, the confidence you've done enough and have no regrets. And, whatever you call higher self, or, there's no reason to do this anymore. Whether you believe Tony was right about simultaneous incarnations of higher self, all in material planes of existence, all doing it at the same time, and higher self needs to exit the game. It's, from my perspective, and your perspective, and the old guard, have we seen through the trick, part one? Yeah, there's nothing it can trick us with at this point, I would say. Nothing that can come on the news that we can't see through. In terms of part two, the work we'll continue to do what we need to do up until the day of our death. But going into it, I've done enough. Okay, I feel that way right now. I've done enough. Well, Matt, you harmed. The karma might come into it. All bullshit. You harmed people in the past, and you need to make up for that. No, I don't. I agree. I did harm people, and people harmed me, and we all learned from it, and we all moved on. Don't you need to go make that right? No, sorry. I don't. We don't need to make that right. That's part of this low experience. Never karma. What a joke. We're always going to be the opposite of perfect here. Low, constant mistakes, constant, turmoil in relationships, endless karma. Are you kidding me? And the general notion of karma is not just if you go, burn somebody's crops down and do some, and then the family becomes homeless and starves. No, the karma issue is put on us for, every little girlfriend you left hanging in the senior prom. It tries to pile on every mistake you ever made in your life. And those mistakes are all part of living. It's okay. There should be no karma. Nobody here has burned anybody's crops down and left the family homeless or anything severe like that. So it's going into the moment that I've learned a tremendous amount. I've seen through a trick that fools billions, and just a tiny percentage of us have seen through it. Then I've done or started to do the things that it didn't want me doing, and we're done with it. It just, why? Because I said so, or because you said so, or higher self. Hey, get us out of here, you son of a beach. You want to do that? Do that. I might do that. I might do that. Get us out of here. We're done. Aren't you worried about this or that, or the iconic being? No, I'm not. That's it. That's an answer that many of you won't like. You want a roadmap. What are we doing this or that? That's not the way this reality works. It goes back so many truth drops in so many movies. Little Dakota Fanning in Man on Fire, just not exactly what to do on the wall, flip, turn, trained or untrained? Trained. She knew she was trained, knew she'd win. He's not giving her advice on what to do in the water. Going into the water, confidence. Are you trained or untrained? Trained. That's it. There's your answer. Let me make sure this recorded. It did record. So many truth drops in movies. Go back to Rocky. I mean, all the Rockies. It's going through the training. Not for the physical fitness is not as much as the confidence. The confidence that comes through the training, and it comes out in Rocky 3 with Mr. T and Clubber Lang, and he's just not. Clubber Lang is like the metaphor for this reality, or analogy for this reality itself, and he just beats the crap out of Rocky. Because why? Because Rocky got too into the material, and he had the sports cars, and he had the beautiful home, and he's doing the fancy photo shoots and the glamour. And Mr. T, this hardcore reality thing, just came and kicked his ass. And then Rocky, I don't know if I can go back to that primitive level that I had in Rocky 1 and 2. And then they go through the bullshit training with Apollo Creed out in Los Angeles. And that's where Paulie, opens the window and he says, "Be quiet down there, you scuzzo bums! I'll squash you!" Remember that? Paulie leans out the window and yells at the people in the alley. Sorry. And then the huge truth drop with Adrian. And these truth drops are in movies. The producer, the director, Stallone, they don't know that these are spiritual truth drops. but it has to come out of media. Adrian says, admit it. You're afraid. I'm afraid. That's it. The fear. I'm afraid. That's what it's. And she's. And go watch this scene. It's an incredible scene with Adrian and Rocky. It's okay to be afraid. It's part, that's part of this experience. Okay, but you have to overcome it. You have to go back in the ring, not to be champion again, but she says it in a different way. You have to, because you've admitted you're afraid. Now you have to overcome it. You have to find, and then of course it's the speed. Now and then he gets back to the primitive and he overcomes the fear. It's not about winning or losing, and it's not coming out right. But that scene is so incredible, metaphysical truth drop as to how this reality works. And then he finally admits, "I'm afraid." It's okay, but now beat it. There's so many, and I love the trained or untrained thing. He doesn't say one thing. Remember to do the kickflip. He doesn't say one thing about the technicals. Once you get past the technicals, then it's the confidence, and we're trained or untrained in terms of all you've been through in your life, in reality. Trained. You need a little Tibetan Book of the Dead going into nope, don't need it. But what if somebody wanted to hand you a Tibetan Book of the Dead on the day before your death? I say, throw it into fire. I don't need this horse shit. We don't need it. Trained or untrained. It's that. Many people, that ain't no solution. I'm wasting my time here. Then you don't get it. You don't get no coke. You don't get it. Then you don't. If you're looking for an exact solution, what do I do with the light, and how do I get into West Penray's grid? You got a lot of work to do. Thanks for listening.